Okay, let's start. A new starts in life. So, tell with me, tell with me, um, yes, we are on air also. Welcome back to my channel for YouTubers. Has opened at this now. Okay, for YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. So, before we are close. Two. Okay, this. And when he had agreed with the labor for a penny a day, he sent them into this vineyard. Amen, somebody. Did you hear that? Do you understand anything? So, okay. This parable from which these words are taken is one of the most complete and its details of any of that Savior that was ever spoken. It covers a whole day, and as we read in the whole course of the day stands out clear before us. In the words, which I have quoted anyway, we are set at the what is going on it. The master of a vineyard, having gone out into these highways and some workers gates and cages, which say he sends. If the work is waiting, everything is sparkle in the waiting. The master thoughtfully and considerably, we can see, this vineyard with the long rows of young vines where, the is in strength, how to call it, is in strength waiting for work. Here is the work waiting for strength. The two, the two are just upon the point, touching one another. There's no sense of exhaustion anywhere. Everything shines with a vigor and hope. There is no limit to the work which one dream may be done before the day is over. The exhilaration of the beginning feels the man has faded out for real happiness and strength of life, who does not know what exhilaration is, the one who does not feel the brightness of the picture with this verse comes to this each day does not seem in some true sense to begin a word anew, brighten every faded color in the night before. There is a humanistic which is telling us about our life, while it is meant to have a great consciousness and to be always one, and no less meant to be full of a new starts, to be over refreshed and continuousness, to be always one and no less meant, no less meant. I repeat, of a new start, refreshing its forces and its strengths, and beginning once again. The true proportion between those two things and the sense of how to call it, every new beginning makes the finest and the freshest and the primest life to rivers a great it's a great broad white stream, moving swiftly and smoothly on, unbroken by rapid majestic in its calm and noble monotony, each mile, and each great course seeming like every other mile. So perfectly and evidently, it is anywhere itself. It is great through its continuity. This thing, that continuity, how to call it? Anyway, the other river is a mountain torrent, broken and stopped perpetually and is always gathering itself up in a pool, at the foot of a rock that stopped for a fresh start. It is always a new beginning, cause, from what it is for a moment, it seems as if wholly stopped until it finds an outlet and plunges down another with a new cascade begins a new life again. Like the first stream, like the majestic and continuous river, that one is the life of God. Continuousness and identity is a great through him and thought of him. Amen, somebody. So hear the verse. From everlasting to everlasting thou art God. We cry. We cry out this one. Full of movements, the impression of his life, it is full of stillness. But like the mountain torrent is the life of a man. Yes, like a mountain torrent comest, unto unseen ways. It loves to gather itself into knots, and when it starts out with to take unto itself the streams of a newborn life that is monotony to be refreshed in the freshness. You know, it is wonderful and ingenious men will be making artificial new starts in the life. If at middays they shut up the house, and lighted the lamps and made believe that it was night. Yes, you understand. Making believe that it was night, only in order that that moment they might fling the shutters back again, and as if a new moment had came, with enthusiasm. So all hmm, has a these days sleepiness with training, that one cause and fresh principle and fundamental motive under which a work is done, and so keeps that from degenerating into mechanical routine. When the stream starts and over a new fall, it cannot help being conscious anew, afresh into its own fluidness and the force of gravitation. It is the renewed sense of this thing, of what is, and what a great power is at work upon the feels and full of life as it begins its a new career, which is simply the old career. And so, when a man starts afresh, either with a newness, circumstances, all these new starts, how to do for his principle of which live after you know after that, yes, after that, when the streamer is on the long monotonous voyage, you feel as if the machinery move on itself. So, a new beginning meant ought to feel in and in some way, more or less real and unclear. They feel so what they are or what they will be, and what is the great power are at work upon them, as they do not ordinarily feel the things are in common times. So, excuse me 1 minute. Let us keep let us keep something in mind. Let us keep all those things in mind and come back and stand in the bright morning. Laborers of the parable are just beginning the day's work. When the householder has agreed that for a penny a day, he sent verse. When the householder had agreed with a penny and for a penny a day, he sent them into the vineyards. You know, that verse you heard that in that verse is taken as the story of the way in which a human life as a whole, and also a way which is any special department of or an enterprise of human life begins, human source, where are two ideas of which we may examine and develop in succession. One of them is the idea of mission. The other is the idea of wages. First, the master of them he agrees. Look at those two ideas in relation to the great new start. Element somebody. So, first, the idea of mission. He sent them into the vineyards. You know, he, he, look out, is a parable. You know, the parable means God's in human life. See what a personality steps at once into the story and see how it once it's there cannot be left out again. The whole story lives and moves and has its being in that central person by by those by them and who's sending the laborers to start out a day at work. Suppose at first holder. Suppose you only saw a host of workmen, with the tools streaming in, through an open window. For answer must be one of two. Either is a mere pleasure of boys go for the pure pleasure of the game, or else is a desire of something that they are to get, and that is convincible. Both are the legitimate motives. Yes, both are the legitimate motives. Hmm. And motives which correspond to both of them, both of them to come legitimately at every beginning of the life. Any new undertaking of our may properly be inspired by evolution and by the advantage, but now put the 1 year every labor in. Now you ask any labor why he is there. Any pointing back to the master at the gates, he says, "He sent me." No matter how much any laborer might love that work or wants the profits, he would have no right to be there unless if the householder has sent him. Do you not see the parable? You do. Whenever any man believes that God has given him a work to do that belief, becomes, and that one is because the great motive of his labor does not exclude the others, but overshadows and that them. Still, the my grateful is he does not rise from a besides the gates and said, "He sent me." Yes, he sent me. However, he might he might love the work, whatever advantage he might look for, or he might look in for. You know, he would have no right to be doing it if God has not sent him in. Amen, somebody. So every work, every work ought to begin simply, and with one clear, simple motive. It is not pleasant to hear the beginner at any work talk too far looking back, anticipate the game that lies for him far back away when his work or has been always successful. Prophecies are too doubtful. Hence, that anticipating spirit is too apt to be between the beginner and his impulse, nor in himself that his work is pleasant, Work is pleasant, that he loves, and it is trusting that to that love for his energy and his persistence. There will surely come time where the love will grow dull, when the enthusiasm, the excitement shall flicker. What then? There must be some authority that impels as well as some attraction that invites. Not merely that as well as a task, as well as a duty. Otherwise, have done the best work only called by the thing that was to be done. They were to do it, or they were into. Amen, somebody. So, because This way, his bowstring sent me, watch out. It is only in going where the bowstring sent it that the arrow finds first the joy of the rushing air, and when the last satisfaction that it buries himself as into the very center target. Amen, somebody. So, like the arrow in the hand of a giant where they call children, like the arrows, you hear the verse says in Psalms, the child's life marked by this, it is a conscious of impulse far more it is said as attractiveness the main motive. Children always, yes, because the ends. Go, go, must be the main motive for us to be going in this life of Jesus, the perfect Son of God. No man has ever felt as he felt the essential joy of holy work. No man has ever shown what he saw at the glorious fruits of holiness. And yet, it was not for these ones, at least and at last, that he always said, that it was holy. The last, the deepest, and the strongest reason was that his father sent him, and said, "I came down from heaven not to do mine work, but will, you know, that will and the will of him that sent me." Verse says. The action have just been not because he wanted to do, through it all, but because because of up now, I would say to some of you, hmm, not you people, hmm, you know, it's all about verse. That subtly, but indeed, my friends, it is not so. Let me try to apply it more. Let me try now to apply it more closely and show how practical is. I said that with a certain different beginnings in men's life, that parable, the word parable that text has applied in every full life, in every life of every man which goes through the whole cycle of what a man ought to be, there must be at least three such beginnings of a new start. And to each of those, those three, we may apply to what I have just been saying. So, number two, I was said before, number one, number two is the choice of occupation or the deliberate selection of work. And three, now we are rounding up, use in its deep who does not or think of the immunity to whom entered upon and nothing whatever willing the loyalty of God. Amen, somebody. Okay, here we have to close right now, because the message is supposed to be half an hour, and it's getting late. So it's about to be 2 o'clock a.m. and I can barely keep my eyes open. So for you people, thank you for being here. Thank you for your attention. I'll be with you again with a new message. I'll be with you again with a new message, right soon. Until then, you know, keep charged. Blessings to you. So, and for now that they are watching me from YouTube, comes, you'll be immediately notified. So, from me now, have a nice week ahead. Have a nice weekend. Take up a care. Blessings to you.